Asta este introducerea în română. Da, nici în engleză nu sunt mai bune. And the award for most useless conversion to 3D goes to Fright Night. Why would you want to convert a movie into 3D when it has night in the title and more than half of it takes place in the dark? You know, thanks a lot. That being said, I enjoyed Fright Night, but strictly as a vampire movie. I would not recommend it to somebody who doesn't like vampire stories, because as a horror comedy, it's not really scary and it's not particularly funny either. I mean, I may have chuckled once or twice, but there were certainly no laugh out loud moments. What the movie does have is a great attitude towards vampires. Jerry the vampire, he is the smoothest child of the night that has ever been. Throughout this whole movie, he's so calm and chill, and when Jerry is not, eating people or killing people, he's at his house drinking a beer, eating some apples, watching some reality television, and you really get the sense that this is the kind of vampire that people today would turn into, just doing the same shit we're doing now, but doing it forever. What I like most about Jerry is that he's neither evil or crushed by the enormity of the crimes he has committed. He's just a smooth brother, kind of just laying low, not drawing too much attention to himself. And what also Colin Farrell adds to the performance is this animalistic physicality in which Jerry is always like looking around, has these weird facial tics, and you really get the sense that this guy is a predator and he's always looking for his next victim, but at the same time maintaining his calm and composure. It's kind of like in high school when you're taking a test. I never cheated in high school on tests, but I used to get very nervous when the teacher was looking at me. Like I would get nervous over the possibility that the teacher might think that I'm cheating, even though I wasn't cheating, and I would get really nervous and start sweating and stuff, and of course I drew attention to myself. But the people around me who were actually cheating, they were so like cool and nonchalant, and the teacher would come up to them and they would be like, fuck no, I'm not cheating, move along, and that wasn't me. That I would always draw attention to myself, and that's how Jerry the vampire is. He's the kind of guy that cheats at a test in high school and gets away with it. I'm sorry to say that outside of this performance, the characters themselves, the humans especially, are not very memorable. There's David Tennant playing Peter Vincent, and he delivers a really over-the-top performance, and that contrasts nicely with Colin Farrell's smooth persona. But Charlie Brewster and his mom and his girlfriend, they're just not interesting to me. I don't know what Toni Collette was doing in this movie, but referring to Charlie Brewster especially is that he's supposed to go for this character arc of becoming like a hero and stuff, but he starts out great and ends just as great. I would have loved if they would have went even more over the top with him, make him either a real social pariah or a real douchebag, and kind of work from that, starting very fake and ending with something kind of real. But Charlie Brewster, just not an interesting character to me. The movie doesn't really explore vampire mythology, but they do go into vampire methodology. I really like the explanations of why Jerry chose that particular town and how he was scoping out his victims, and kind of just the whole idea of how that particular environment was great for a vampire to live in. Technically speaking, the movie didn't really impress me, except for one scene which takes place in a car, and it's kind of a car chase, and it takes place in one take, and it really reminded me of a similar scene from Children of Men, so much so that I even checked to see if the cinematographer is the same as on Children of Men, or if one of the production companies is the same. But no, but still, it really drew my attention because it was just one long take. It was kind of interesting, but again, it took place at night, which makes that similar scene from Children of Men wholly superior. As a conclusion, I will say that I have not seen the original, so I don't know how many of these positive things are lifted straight from the original. But as a conclusion, Fright Night, I think, as a member of the vampire family of movies, has its own distinct personality, but strictly as a horror comedy, there was just not enough emphasis put on the human characters to make them more interesting and to make the movie more memorable for me.